All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to this presentation of auction access. Let me do a couple of things, get the screen. I just must tell you, we have tornado warnings where I am right now. So I'm hoping we'll be able to get through this presentation. Well, if not, we'll reschedule. But yeah, that's Um, never happened before. No, I can't say never happened before, but it's fairly unusual in central New York to have tornado warnings. But anyway, let's try and get through this. Okay, so welcome to this presentation um, of auction access. I am James Buchman, been trading for probably around 20 years now. 2000, yeah, just about 20 years. Partnered up with NinZaCo about 4 years ago. Now I do have my own community in Discord. I run a trading room every single morning where I share my trading plan. This morning in the S&P, we were looking to buy 75.17 and targeting 75.38. In the NASDAQ, we were buying 20. Um, 9,160 and targeting 320. We do this every day, so come and check it out. In any case, let's get to this presentation. So, uh, this indicator really combines three things into one. It combines market profile, point of control, and VWAP. Now, the point of control and VWAP are dynamic, so they move as price moves. They constantly adjust to reflect the current price action. They create zones, bullish zones and bearish zones. They also create support and resistance. Now, the beautiful thing here is that you don't have to have different time frames or anything like that because it adjusts everything automatically regardless of the time frame you are trading. It creates dynamic support and resistance areas based on VWAP and point of control. So we're going to be looking at live charts in a minute. For now, what they're pointing to here is, so they call it DPOC. Now, again, this kind of goes with the price. So if it's declining, the idea is that the sellers are in control. If you have this kind of a brown zone, which we will see soon in on live charts, this means again the sellers are in control, bearish. You're looking to sell. The VWAP is declining. Point of control is declining. Now, by the way, I mean, I know most of you know, but just in case, point of control is basically a price where the most trades took place. That's in a nutshell what a point of control is. So if you have a rising point of control, again, this is dynamic. You have a green zone. This means it's all bullish. Okay. You're also going to see dots, which I will show you on charts. Now, those dots represent support areas, like swing pivot support areas in a market that's advancing, or resistance areas in the market that is declining. Okay, so we're going to see that in real time. Um, then, of course, the volume profile. There are actually two of them. So there was like a bigger one and a smaller one. And that again has to do with the point of control. There was like an immediate area market profile and a bigger picture market profile. Again, so now they're showing you this point of control. I would say it's one of the more important features of this indicator. What you're going to see is that price often tests and retests it um, before either continuing a move or initiating a move. This is what I was talking about with market profile. There is the bigger the kind of like the bigger picture here, and then there is the smaller one that kind of starts with a point of control, the immediate area here. So they're talking about the POC flat phase. So this is the phase that we're talking about, the flat phase, and then it creates the market profile around it. The flat DPOC. Now you're also going to see kind of smaller point of controls, and again, in a declining market, they become resistance areas. In general, I'll tell you what this indicator it's not. It's not the kind of indicator that generates signals. This indicator is more about understanding the market condition, what is going on. You then might have other indicators that do generate signals to go along with this. So, for example, if we, according to this, have a declining market, right? Because this will not generate like an arrow or anything, but you might have some other indicator that does. You would be looking, in this case, a short signal from whatever indicator you are trading when price arrives either at the DPOC, so that's this kind of a thick yellow line, or the more I call them portable, but they're really the dynamic ones. They kind of travel with the price. So the idea is this tells you the market condition, the map, so to speak. Okay, so it tells you should you be bullish, should you be bearish, and actually, this is actually how I trade in my trading room. I identify first conditions. To me, one of the most important thing is the market condition before I can even talk about a trade. Before I can even, am I looking where am I going to take a long? Where am I looking to take a short? I know for most traders, entry areas are the most important. To me, it's actually not the case. First, I have to identify the market condition, then identify key areas, identify what target am I looking for, and only after that can I start considering where is the best place to enter a trade. What this indicator does, what this indicator does is it gives you the map of the current market condition. Is it bullish or is it bearish? This is really the value here. Uh, in my humble opinion, it is far more important than an indicator that gives you arrows, just like random. This is more really how professionals trade. First, identifying market conditions. All things being equal, do I want to be long? Do I want to be short? Where is the probability, right? There is a higher probability of having a winning trade that is a short trade in a declining market than a long trade in a declining market. Can you have winning long trades in a declining market? Yes. However, the probability is in a market that's declining is with the short trades. So I guess that's what I'm saying. Um, I discussed the dots, right? So we're going to see the dots. The dots in a declining market represent resistance. Um, right. So there are also bars that letting you know if a major move is coming. They're kind of gray in color, and we're going to see those. Um, this is an illustration of the VWAP. So you're going to see the VWAP on charts, of course, the point of control. You have a zone that tells you by the color that overall the sellers are in control, right? We just discussed market conditions and how important that is. So they tell you that the sellers are in control, and so you are looking for shorts, ideally after a test of the point of control. Let's see. Right. So it identifies support resistance. I think I said earlier there was no more need for different time frames or periods or smoothing. All that is unnecessary because it gets its information right from the market profile and actual trades. That's how it identifies the point of control and the VWAP and of course the market profile. In the markets that is advancing, you're going to find dots underneath some swings. Those are support areas for a continued move higher. The VWAP, of course, is here. So one thing you should kind of know, when price is inside the zone, uh, the buyers and the sellers are pretty close in agreement on value, right? Once they get outside, it becomes more one-sided. And what you're gonna see very often, that price tends to come back um, into the shaded area, be it brown or green. And of course, the shaded area does go up with price in this case, as price is accepted higher by the traders, but price will come back into the zone. So they call it support, dynamic support and resistance, and it is. It's dynamic. It moves with the price. Okay, create zones. Should we start maybe kind of? Let me show you maybe a real chart as I hear the weather getting worse out there. Just in case, let me show you a chart. Just in case I gotta run. Let's, where is my chart? Sorry, 1 minute. Uh, did I look? No, here it is. Here it is. Sorry. So let me just put it in Zoom. 1 minute. Zoom, share. Why can't I find it in Zoom? Here it is. Okay. Share. Okay. So this is the NASDAQ. We'll take a look at the YM next. So this actually looks very similar to the screenshot we just saw in the slideshow. Let me make this bigger. So first of all, if you don't know anything about anything, right? Just like if you just took a look at this, let's say 9:30, whatever, um, like you see this from this, do you want to be long or do you want to be short? Right? This is the first question you ask yourself. All things being equal, with some pullbacks, of course, pullbacks are always expected. But overall, am I looking for longs, at least at this point, or am I looking for shorts? You're looking for longs. How do you know? Well, we have a green zone. So this whole thing here going into the New York session, this is all bullish. Here is the VWAP. Price is above the VWAP. Bullish. Okay. Now there is a bit of a concern because there is a declining POC point of control here. So that's something to take a look at. But overall, definitely bullish. Bullish. And that's, believe it or not, if you can start your trading day at least with the idea of do I want to be long or do I want to be short, this alone will improve your trading. Now, yes, there is more to it, of course, but this alone, if you can just say, What do I want to be? As opposed to say most traders, right? They go into a trading day and they have no idea. Just, oh, I'm going to follow this, and it points up, it points down, and they really don't understand what is it that the market wants. They try to make the market do what they want, and it's not how this works. So the market is definitely, at least at this point, bullish. Now here is what happens. There is a test. Now this from this morning. There is a test of the VWAP, right? So the VWAP becomes this dynamic, in this case, support area. Why do I say support area? Because it's a green background. Okay, support area at this point. Um, Support area. They spike it. Look at the wicks all around it. Go up. You're long. You're long. You have a long bias to begin with, and then you see this. You are long. By the way, what could you target? Let's pretend we are trading this. So there is these spikes, okay, but they're staying bullish. What could you target? Um, well, there is the point of control. You target this. Why do I say you should target this? Why not higher? Well, the point of control, they could still reverse from it, right? They can hit it and come back down. Actually, that's exactly what happens. They hit it, they come back down. Now, does this mean they are bearish now? No. No, no, they're still bullish. However, they are reacting from this point of control. Okay. Now, they break the point of control. Look what they do. Look what they do. Break, come down, retest it from above. Are you still bullish? You betcha. You betcha. You're still bullish. Another long right here. Allow this bar to close. Long. Long. This is all bullish. You're not thinking short here. If you took a short today, regardless of if you were successful or not, but if you took a short according to this, you are not trading with a probability. All right. So long. I mean, this thing goes to the moon. Again, in the trading room today, I was long from 160 targeting 320. This was my plan in the trading room. And no, I do not trade this in. I don't trade any indicators in the trading room. Um, but um, but this indicator today at least definitely agreed with what I was doing. Long, only long. Okay, now you see these. Hopefully, you can see them. These dotted lines. That's the dynamic point of control. Okay, these are like the baby point of control. But you see how they keep on going higher. As long as they're going higher, we are still very bullish. This is an advancing point of control. This is all bullish. So this here represents this whole area. This. So we are at the highs, which is why you see these two like the same size. For the most part, if we would not be at the highs, this would actually be smaller. This volume profile would be smaller than this because this is for the full session. But for today, because we are at the highs, they look like the same size. So this is where we are right now. So this is in real time. Those of you who work with market profile, volume profile, you guys understand there is a lot of activity right in this area over here. Lots and lots of activity right here. Let's take a look maybe at the YM. Where's my YM? YM. Okay, let me share. Share. All right. YM. So YM has something the NASDAQ did not have. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Whoops. When you start seeing gray bars like this, so this kind of lets you know that a big move is coming. A big move is coming. At first, this move was to the downside, and we see a brown background. At this point, sellers were in control. No question. When the YM first opened, unlike the NASDAQ, when they opened it first, you're thinking, I want to short. And here, let me hopefully again just make this bigger. Here is your resistance. You see the dot? In a declining market, which is what we had at first, right? Below the VWAP, below the point of control, weak, bearish, right? That's what you're thinking here. Bearish. Here is your resistance dot. Now, there was a decent move until they broke through it. Now, they broke through it. What did they do? They broke through the VWAP. They broke through the point of control. From this point now you're thinking, well, bullish, bullish. Everything now is bullish. Let me, okay. Now, ideally, it would be nice. It didn't do it here. There is a retest of point of control from above. The NASDAQ did that, if you recall. The YM did not. So the YM did not do that, at least not at this point, and looks like it doesn't do it. Now, you see again, this is the small point of control, and it's rising. So all of this tells you bullish. You see the dots underneath. The dots underneath. That tells you bullish. All right. Support. Dynamic support. Now, YM does not have as many dots as the NASDAQ did. Just gonna see what they do here. This is real time. So yeah, so obviously they stay bullish the whole time. There was a dot over here, so this was a buying opportunity here. So it paints on bar close, so this was where you'd be able to buy. This would have been a long here. All right. And going up. So again, as you see, no arrows, right? No buy here arrows. This is more for those who want to understand what the market is doing. If you want to start your trading day and then throughout the day answering the question, is the market bullish? Is the market bearish? If the market is bullish, I want to look for opportunities to buy. And again, you could use some other indicator for actual entries. If the market is declining, I want to find opportunities to short. Okay, let's get back to the slideshow, and then I'm going to take some questions if you have any. I think the weather is still cooperating, very dark, but it's cooperating. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to see a lot of familiar things that we saw already, right? So we have the VWAP, we have the key zone, we have the point of control. These are by the way, the bars we saw in the YM, right? This lets you know a big move is coming. When they start doing this kind of gray bars, and then you start looking, okay, we have a bearish zone. We are below the point of control, so everything looks bearish. Well, of course, rising value confirms uptrend, falling value confirms downtrend. And by the way, not only like we talk about value, but again, if you see point of control keeps going down, right? So not only price, but you have point of control keeps going down, VWAP keeps going down. It just becomes obvious that we are obviously in the markets that's declining, and the sellers are in control. So we're looking for opportunities to sell until things change. All of a sudden prices above the VWAP, there is acceptance of higher prices, and we see point of control now um, going up. You are thinking pretty much from this point here, you're thinking long, 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 long. Okay. So we spoke about this. If price is above or below the VWAP, above the VWAP, above the point of control, we are looking long. Below those two, we are looking short. Um, well, just examples, right? Above the VWAP, especially above the point of control, long. So these two working together will give you a very good idea, along with, of course, the zone. Just visually, you'll be able to look at a chart and know, what should I look for? What should I favor? Should I favor the long side? Should I favor the short side? Here, my Discord server, you can come and visit us. We're doing a lot of exciting things in Discord. Well, I don't want to go into too much here, but come and visit and you will see. So yeah, I want to thank everyone for attending this webinar. Gonna see you, I'm sure, soon with another tool. Thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your day.